pounding at the thing you want, you're inevitably going to get there, because why? We're only human beings. That means everybody in a position of control or a position of power is a person that can get inspired by you. You got to remember that.
Chemical X.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Chemical X podcast. It's your girl, Veronica.
And your other girl, Alessia.
And as usual, guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. So, Alessia,
Veronica.
today we are joined by a very special, long time coming guest.
Yes, we worked on this one for a while.
So everyone who's not in the room, which is no one, put your hands together for singer, songwriter, producer, artist, Karl Wolf.
I was excited, man. I was driving here all the way from Toronto, like, come on, Chemical Podcast. Yes.
Were you listening to our voices the whole time?
Honestly, I did some research too. Yo, you guys are crazy. You guys are doing so well. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
God,
Yeah.
Well, we're
thank
proud
you.
of you as well.
Thank you.
We know each other for a long time, actually. We met in a basement. And no, he didn't murder me. It was a club.
It was a club. Yeah, I remember that. That was a while back. 8 years ago, you said?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I would say about 8 years ago that we know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And,
we've been seeing him a little bit. Like, we were in Toronto. He sent us over shots. We're like, okay,
Oh,
when is he
yeah.
going to come on our podcast?
Yeah, it is. So this was the right time. And I love what you guys are talking about, so I want to chime in.
We'll get to the relationships
We'll get
in
to
a
the saucy
bit,
hot
but
stuff. But
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
end. So, guys, don't forget to listen to the end
Yeah.
if you want to hear his, interesting takes on men. But first of all, let's just address the elephant in the room. You're obviously a quite successful artist, and you are actually planning a world tour right now. Is
yeah.
that so?
Yeah, very excited, man. My tour is called DIY, Do It Yourself, is the new single. And actually, it's the 15th year anniversary of Africa. When it
Okay.
first came out in December 2007.
if you
So-
guys don't know that song, you are living under a rock. So let's talk a little bit about where you're from.
I was born in Beirut, Lebanon. Left when I was 3 years old because of the civil war. Went to Dubai, graduated high school in Dubai.
Okay.
When I was younger, I was like 16 when I did that. And then I came to Canada, to Montreal to study. Went to Dawson. Went to
really?
Concordia University. Studied film, Bachelor of Fine Arts and film studies. I also did a minor in childhood psychology. So that was really, really interesting. And then became a singer, songwriter, producer, and video editor.
That's crazy that I didn't know that you're into all those things. So, like, at what point were you like, okay, wait, I have a talent?
Yeah. Wow. So my parents are both musicians. My mom was a piano teacher when growing up. And,
That'll help.
It does help big time. And while I was studying, doing my homework, my mom would teach piano. And there's a thing called ear training. And that's part of the curriculum when you're learning how to play piano. And I would ear train by default, just by being in the other room. I would kind of hear it, so I'm perfect pitch, just because I heard the notes so many times in my life.
Wow.
And then my mom sat me down for like 3. So I did till grade 3 of piano. Just to let you know, if you reach grade 8, you're a teacher. So I reached grade 3, and I was like, Mom, trust me, watch this. I just wanted to play by ear. And my mom's been impressed ever since. She's my biggest fan, and yeah.
Shout out
What-
to the mom.
Yeah.
Mom, I love
Question real quick. Because I know that some people say that being an artist or being a good singer is something that can be practiced on. Do you believe it's something you have to be talented with? Or do you think you can kind of just learn it?
I think it's a bit of both. I think you have to have some talent within, because with my ex-girlfriend, the way I was dealing with stuff, she loved singing, and I would tell her, and she would sing to me, and I'd be like, okay, you
You're
see
like,
where
"You're
you're
shit,
going.
babe."
No, you're terrible. You suck. No, it's just you could always see that there's always a bit of a hidden talent. Everyone kind of
Right.
could hum, but the problem is a lot of people are lazy. So the thing with singing is you can't be lazy. It's very nuanced. So
Okay.
every riff, when you have a riff, it's because I'm very nuanced to every note. And a lot of people just sing along, like, let's say the Backstreet Boys, I want it that way. Like, they just lazy out. I want it that way. Like, there's so many nuances to singing well.
Right.
So it's something like that. So you got to be not lazy to sing well. Something like that.
But you kind of have to have a little hidden talent in there.
Basically.
I think so, but it's in the mind. It comes from the mind. But just like tennis, I guess it's in the mind, and it's got to translate to your arm.
Right.
Coordination, et cetera, yeah. There's parts of it.
But as a kid, were you always like interested in singing? Did you kind of see yourself going down
Like,
the
was
route
there a
of being
moment where you
musician?
were like, this is it?
You know what? I was a 14-year-old DJ. So
Oh, yeah.
in school in Dubai, I would DJ like adult parties. Not adult parties. Stop. Like parents' parties.
Okay.
So they would hire me. I was always a businessman / music guy. So I always understood I've got left brain, right brain thinking. I'm like, okay, how can I make money from something that's wanted and needed?
Right.
So I would go into these parties and they would hire me. Like the older people would hire me to DJ those parties. I'll be like, okay, no problem. I do deals with the wife. I'd be like, well, it's $500 for it. She's like, we're not going to pay a 14-year-old $500. So we'll pay you $100 for it. I'm like, 500. And I would stick to my guns like a real good businessman. And I got the 500. So I would actually, but I would work my ass off. Get the taxi cab. I would get the speakers, rent the speakers, get the DJ equipment, travel all the way an hour to Dubai. I was in Sharjah.
Your
So it's
parents
like,
are going, who is he?
who is he? I would bring $500 back home like this and put them cash on my bed, 14-year-old. And my parents would be like, this guy is going to be something one day. Like, what?
Well,
are you doing
yeah.
drugs? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's either he's gonna be something or he's gonna be in jail. Which one is it?
They thought it was drugs. They're like, man, what are you doing? You're bringing in more money than us? I don't know. Anyway, so that's kind of how I started into DJing and stuff like that. And then what I would do is for high school parties, when I would DJ later on, and like when I got 16, you know, just high school, I would use the headphone as a mic. So I'd take the headphones mic out and I put it in the mic input. And then I would sing Boys to Men stuff like, although we've come to the end of the road. Things like that. And then people would go like, oh my God, sing again, sing again. And that's when I knew
Right.
I had a vibe. Like when all the jocks were there, the second that I would be on the piano and sing, it would kind of like, everybody would be like, okay, all the girls are flocking to Karl. There's something
Right.
about, and then I kind of figured that out. I'm like, there's something there. Let's monetize it.
I get that though. Being a
Nice.
girl and like you're talking to someone who's a good singer, like I could see the initial like, pick me.
Oh, yeah.
There is a vibe on that because I think it's a couple of things. Now we're going into this, you know, human behavior and what I've studied this stuff. At the end of the day, it's who's got the attention. Women love a guy with all eyes on him. I don't know what that is. It's power.
That's true.
It's success. It means a lot of things, you know. And that I guess that was the power behind that.
That's true. I totally agree with that. I think women do like, whether it's because he has
To
the money,
chase.
whether it's because
Right.
he has the success,
Right.
it's that like that attention.
He's wanted.
He's
There's-
wanted,
there's
desired.
for some reason.
Who's
desired.
gonna be the girl who's gonna get
Right.
him?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It means eyes are on her too. Right.
Right.
But do you think that exists also for women or no?
I don't think so. From a man's perspective, maybe, fine. But I know for me, I seek someone who's thoughtful, loving, caring, hot as well. But it's not to show off that. It's more to just obviously enjoy it in private. But again, I'm not everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we'll get into obviously where you are in life. I mean, everybody has a different story, but it's interesting to get everybody's point of view.
Yeah.
So now you're a teenager,
Yeah.
you're kind of developing your talent, you're seeing that clearly. It's clear that you're obviously a businessman before almost you're an artist. Like you see an opportunity.
No one caught that. No one
it's
caught that ever
interesting
before.
because I feel like his era wasn't really that. I
Yeah.
feel like
By the way,
now,
I'm not that old. Just FYI,
No,
just-
but I feel like now.
But don't Google me.
A lot of people think that way,
Yeah.
but it's interesting because I feel like back then,
Yeah.
not everyone
Yeah.
thought like that.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
right.
Like not everyone saw, I guess, performance arts or like music or
Correct.
artistry as a really big business opportunity. I
Right.
feel like it was more the mindset of like, you're never gonna make it.
Correct.
Like you're gonna be broke forever if you're going in that area. So I think it's interesting that for you, you were like, I'm gonna monetize on this and I'm gonna make
Yeah.
money out of this.
I always had that feeling like, even in college, so let's fast forward a little bit to university here. And I went to film studies, right? So I was in Concordia at the arts building, going into, watching black and white Jean-Luc Godard, like old school movies, and just being bored out of my freaking skull and asking myself, and listening to the teacher for a second, and I'm like, is this what I want to be? He's wearing Birkenstocks. He's got he just smells bad. He's got BO. Like, this is who I'm listening to. I knew that it was actually that moment. I remember that movie. It was Jean-Luc Godard was the director. It's a black and white film from back in the day. And it's something that you just have to watch as a film major, And I was like, listening to this guy speak, I was like, man, this can't be my life. I walked out of that class and sort of never looked back. I did graduate, but I knew that I didn't want to do whatever I was studying. I was like,
Right.
I got to chase my dreams,
Right.
because I do not want to end up this way. I want
Right.
to, so you study and then you go teach people or whatever. I knew I had to dig into something, a dream of mine that was bigger, and I did early on in my life. And I think that's what really gave me the edge. And today I am the breadwinner of the entire family. Like my parents have relied on me. They've retired and they've relied on me for the past 15 years. Nobody knows that, but that's something I could be balling more than I am, but I took care of my family.
It's amazing because I feel like sometimes we think that automatically, if you're an artist and you made it, you still kind of came from a rich family.
Right.
Sometimes
Yeah.
people have those assumptions of you.
Sure.
So it's interesting to hear, you be the breadwinner for your whole family. That's amazing. I think
Yeah.
when you make it big, that's like everyone's dream, or at
Yeah.
least ours.
You want
I
to take
mean-
care of your family, your mom,
Yeah.
your dad,
Yeah.
make sure that they're safe and comfortable and they don't, they can always rely on you. That's always what I said, because it's so hard. I've got a younger brother too. And I always, I'm like, man, I wish I could jump as a spirit into their body and fix, any
Right,
issues
right,
they
right.
have, anxieties, things, money, everything. And I can't, right? So
Yeah.
and even when I advise them, or my younger brother or whatever, I feel like I don't like talking about it. It gets me emotional because it's my younger brother. It means a lot to me. But ultimately, I just decided to win, kill it, and then be able to take care of anybody I want to. And that's
Right.
kind of my motivation behind a lot of that.
Amazing.
And what I find interesting is that, like, when people think about making enough money to sustain somebody or like to take care of the people around you, the safest bet is not to follow your dreams in a certain way. Like, I feel like most people, if that's their priority, they might choose something that's a little more
Safer.
like, I'm going to go become a lawyer, I'm going to go become a doctor, something like that. But you did take the risk and obviously it paid off. So I think that's really interesting that you were willing to take that jump.
Yeah.
And was there anything in particular that kind of pushed you to do it? Because it is a risk at the end of the day, following your dreams. If
Yeah.
it was easy, everyone would do it.
Good point. I fell in love with what I did, and I just had that feeling. I don't know where it comes from. It might be that confidence that you guys even feel for creating this. Some people never follow their dreams, but when you follow it up, I realized, look, since I was a kid, I was never number one at anything. I was always kind of like number two, except when I was 5 years old. I remember this very clearly, and that changed my life a lot. I was 5 and I played tennis. I played junior, not pro, but just competitive. And I won my first medal. And I remember it was my first trophy. I won the whole tournament and I was 5 years old and I beat kids who were 6. And that moment reminded me that I can win. Because you always think that, no, everyone says that about themselves, right? Life is always against them because life is fucking tough. It's not easy. Everybody's going through struggles. But all we need sometimes is one moment to know that, oh my God, I can actually win. Karl, the guy came from Sharjah, not even Dubai, which is 10 minutes away from Dubai, and came to Canada, can actually become a Juno nominee and can actually become a 6-time, whatever, MTV Europe Award winner. It's crazy. But when it happens, that's when you know. And it took me time to get there, again, to remember that. But every time I thought about that 5-year-old kid, it worked for me. I remembered, man, Karl, whatever you want to do, I don't know. I hate to say that I am blessed and I'm lucky.
But you also
Maybe
work
I am
fucking
lucky.
hard.
But
right?
every time I say lucky, people say, but luck is what? Opportunity meets
Meets preparation.
preparation. Yeah. So fair, but I feel like I'm
I
blessed.
do believe like people can be lucky, but I
Yeah.
also believe nobody just gives you anything unless you fucking work for it. So,
And I also think
Right.
it's about the energy you give out.
Yeah.
I think like at the end of the day, shitty people, like maybe they're winning right now, but in the long run they won't.
Yeah.
And I do believe like people with a good heart, people who
Yeah.
like have their goals in mind, and people who are always looking out for those around them
Yeah.
will always win.
Always, yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what. Maybe it won't be right away,
Yeah.
but it's always gonna happen. And I
I
think
agree.
like the same goes for the other way,
That brings up a good point because networking is very important as well. And when networking, a lot of people think these days, network. I'll go to the networking event and just kind of like talk to different people. friends. It's all about friends because friends help friends. I'll tell you a quick story. So I was opening up for NSYNC. Remember NSYNC?
Of course.
Justin Timberlake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be May.
yeah.
Okay. So this was a long time
For
ago.
all the youngsters listening.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they'll know that one.
Do your history. Do your Google shit. Whatever you do. Okay. Siri. So I was opening up for them in Miami, South Beach, and they invited me. It was Johnny Wright, who manages Britney. Well, at the time, Britney and NSYNC and all that crew, right? So I was backstage, and it was literally on the beach. And I remember this moment. JC Chazé was there, right? And I was a new guy in the music industry. They invited me to perform. It was like opening up one song. It was just my song Butterflies, which is kind of an Arabic kind of feel song, which blew up in the Middle East and stuff. They were like, okay, let's give it a shot. It's really cool, whatever. You can open up for us. I opened up for them with one song. But backstage, I was such a hustler, man. I was like, so I went up to JC Chazé. I was like, yo, bro. So we were talking. He's like, man, tell me about you, man. Like, he was starting to, understand where, I'm like from Canada, but from Dubai originally, and I was just giving him the whole story. And I'm like, I would love to work with you. I produce as well. Young Karl,
You gotta
just
pitch yourself.
trying to hustle, trying to shoot my shot, And then he shot me down so hard. He was like, nah, man, you know what, Karl, it's cool, but like, I can't wait to see your stuff, but we only work with friends. I've got my team, my friends, that I work with. And that was the moment I knew that it was just like, you work with your friends. People want to work with who they like. And that's kind of, he told me that. And at that moment, it was like a game changer for me as well. So there's many moments in my career, which I had sort of like invisible mentors, that kind of steered
you in the right direction.
Kind of without doing it on purpose, but just me kind of picking it up and being like, oh, interesting. Okay. Like in a harsh way, because it made me sad, right? I'd love to fucking work with NSYNC,
Let's scale it back a little bit to when your first song came out.
Yeah.
Before that, like, how were you working on it? Where were you at this point?
Right.
Did you know this song was going to be a hit?
What are we talking about? Africa?
Yes.
Okay. So
My
a lot
favorite
of people who say it's my first song, that's not true, right? So
We're bad podcasters. Fuck.
No, it's
what
okay.
was the first one that made it on the map?
That was the one that went to number one.
Okay.
Right.
In like 20 different countries around the world. That was the one that still feeds my family till this day.
Right.
That was one of the biggest records I've ever
And it was
done.
a remix.
It was a remix, yeah. It was a remake, and there was a huge inspiration with that song. First, when I was 10 years old in Lebanon, I remember we would go to summers every summer because I lived in Dubai. We were studying in Dubai because we left because of the civil war in Lebanon. But we'd go visit in the summers. We'd visit family, and I remember this girl who was my mom's neighbor, I guess, or something. They were friends, and then her daughter. She was older than me. She was 12. I was 10 years old, and then we were in the courtyard. And I was in love with her. I was like, that's when I first started having feels like for girls. You know that feeling you get? Like, guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like your heart starts to pump. You're like, damn, she's cute.
You're like, what song am I going to have to play for her to catch my attention?
That's it. So she was sitting next to me, and I liked her. So she was so pretty. I still remember her name, Lara.
Shout out Lara.
Shout out Lara, yeah. And she sat next to me and she in the courtyard and I think she gave me a kiss on my cheek for my first kiss, guys. Like, and Africa, Toto, the original Africa was playing in the sound
Wait,
system.
no way.
Yeah. When she kissed me, it was like, gonna take a lot to drag me. I was like, so that moment, the feels that I had during hearing that, the harmonies of that song, kissing, and she kissed my cheek, and I was like, I understand.
This
That
is
moment
love.
made me understand music. It made me understand the power of music and how it connects to real life situations. So, fast forward all these years.
Okay, wait. So you are supporting your family. Are you also supporting her?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Well-
she was the defining
Holy shit.
moment of your career.
I don't know where she's at, but Lara,
Lara,
shout out.
we owe it all to you.
Yeah, exactly. So fast forward to Africa
Yes.
today. I just wanted everyone in the new generation to kind of hear and feel what I felt. Because what I realized is a lot of people are losing their love, in this day and age. It's all about sex. Everything is sex sells, sex.
Agreed.
Even music is sex. It's hard to find what happened to the love songs. You know what I mean? There's no such
It's
thing,
so
right?
true. When I
Yeah.
think about like really good songs, they're never songs that are like of today.
No.
Exactly.
Exactly. There's
it's
something
true.
that's changed in that, but I don't think human beings don't change. So everyone wants love. I'm sure there's
Absolutely.
everyone's falling in love, but for some reason it's cheesy to be into a love song. Okay.
Right.
So I
Interesting,
wanted
yeah.
to change. So I knew people in this generation wouldn't understand Africa the way it was. So I wanted to switch it up and just kind of go dance hall on it. When dance hall wasn't even making necessarily a comeback, Sean Paul started doing that. But I was like listening to some. Actually, the way I came up with it was there was a taxi cab I was in Montreal, and he was Jamaican, and he was listening to all his dance hall, and I was like, man, this shit is crazy. I bet you I can remake an old '80s track to this, and that's when I went in the studio, did it. Put the money up for it, shot the video, which cost me like $50,000. Bought the rights to it, which cost me $15,000. This
But
is when
back then,
back
that's
then
like-
I didn't have money. I
Right.
didn't have it. I had $0. I was working hard. I was trying to
Jesus.
just borrow from the banks,
Right.
and my family, whatever I could do. I put it out. I didn't do shit for like a full year and a half. All the labels. I went to every single record company from Universal Music, EMI, Warner Music, and Sony, and sat down and said, hey, I shot the video. I bought the rights and I recorded the song. It's interesting because it's the 15th year anniversary of Africa. So it's good that we talk about this. And so I went to the meetings, and everyone was like, Karl, cool, whatever, but who's gonna, sign a remake? It's a remake. It's dance hall. Nobody's listening to dance hall. You don't have Sean Paul on the record. You have some other guy called Culture. Whatever. We're gonna pass. Pass. I'm like, damn. So I'm on my
When
ass.
you got all those no's, were you like kind of like defeated and like maybe it's not what I thought it was, or were you like, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong?
Of course, there's always a moment where I
Doubts,
was,
right.
of course, I was doubtful. I was like, I can't believe I'm like, nobody wants to sign this. But you know what I said? I woke up the next day, because I always do that. I get sad at night, no problem. But I always pick myself up in the morning. In the morning, I'm a different, I don't know, the energy. I'm just like, fuck it. I got this.
Yeah.
Karl, you got this, I'm like, I'm not going to listen to anybody. I'm going to do this myself, DIY. And I did. And I said, you know what? Let's find, I've had $5,000 left, or $2,500, whatever it was. I hired a radio promoter in the city, in Montreal. Fuck, I remember his name. Jean Lamotte. Wow. French guy. And amazing. Jean.
Karl came on this podcast to shout out.
Yeah,
Oh,
shout
yeah,
out.
you're
baby.
Lara.
Oh,
Let's not shout out the ex-girlfriends.
we'll get there.
We'll get there. This is the yeah. Let's not.
The shell. The
Yeah.
shell of the
Stress for
success.
later when we get into that.
Exactly. So I hired Jean Lamotte to go out and try to promote the record. Nothing happened. Finally, after a year, Virgin Radio now, which was Mix 96 at the time. Mark Bergman. Shout out to Mark Bergman. Another shout out. Mark Bergman. Yo, I don't forget people, eh?
Love
this is
that.
not a joke. Like, I remember, because these people are deep in my heart. They helped me in my
Yeah.
career, so I'll never forget that. Okay, so this is what he did. He put it on a show called Smash or Trash at the time.
Oh my God, yeah, like you go up against
Successful artists, okay?
Right.
Which is at the time NSYNC, Usher, Britney Spears,
Jeez.
Backstreet Boys, and guess what? Africa won 8 nights in a row. 8 nights in a row.
You
And
beat Britney Spears?
beat them all out.
Shut the-
And by the way, and we didn't have Instagram and whatever, like rally your fans.
Yeah.
Over.
So you're there like waiting at
I didn't
like,
know.
Wait.
Alicia. I didn't
Guys,
know. Alicia,
this-
right?
yeah.
Alicia. I didn't know. No, because her name on Instagram is Aladidra. So I was like, I just heard about it in the last day or two. I tried to rally people, whatever. But we won 8 nights in a row. And he added it officially on that radio station on light rotation.
Okay.
And so that was our first official ad on that radio station, thanks to Mark Bergman. And ever since then, all the radio stations across Canada called me or emailed me and said, hey, how come we don't have this record? How come? I'm like, now you want it? No problem. MP3'd it. Boom. MP3'd it. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody got it. It became top 30 on its own, number 30 in the country without a record company. At that point, EMI Records, I remember Dean Cameron, rest in peace. He was the president of EMI Records. He called me personally in January after we released it and said, Karl, we want to give you a record deal. We feel so bad. How come we didn't know about like that you sent us this record, but we should have known better.
Right.
But will you accept our offer? I said, no problem. I sent it to my lawyer, signed it, and never looked back, and my career was made.
Wow.
Ever since then.
Wow.
Amazing. I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
When we were talking about luck versus, preparation, opportunity, obviously you really worked hard, and it's clear that you went through a lot of obstacles and you kept going and you kept going. But then there's also certain things that did work in your favor.
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting. Like, do you believe that you had luck or Like there, it's kind of like you don't really know.
I
know?
do believe, okay, Veronica and Alicia, it could be because I believe in myself and I feel like I have that I'm in the universe and I'm born in this time for a purpose, that I am getting the confidence to kill it and going like, and you know how human beings love confidence. So when you're confident, even the record companies are like, this motherfucker Karl Wolf, he fucking went without us and he's fucking number 30. Are you fucking kidding me? Who's this motherfucker? Sign him. That's kind of how it was. I think human beings are in awe of someone who doesn't give a fuck about you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like whether you're here or not, I'm fucking winning, bro. And that's it. Am I one of the chosen ones by universe and God? I don't think so. I think we're all, and we all have the capability. Do I believe I'm the chosen one? Hell fucking yeah. I'm on this earth for a fucking purpose and I'm going to not waste it. Absolutely. So is that what's making me win? Probably.
So like you're creating your own luck in a certain sense out of
Maybe.
like, you're obviously extremely
I don't give
consistent.
up.
Yeah.
I don't fucking give
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
When they tell me no, I say, go fuck yourself. Like, no, I'm going to do this, man. And that's it. That's it. I want it in my mind. I want to fucking achieve it and I achieve it and I prove it. And when I go for it, people start to walk with you.
Yeah.
You got to lead, man. You
Well,
got to
it's
lead.
the thing, like when you believe in yourself and you're like, someone could say something and you won't, like it'll just pass by you
Because you believe
because
harder.
you believe in it. People start to believe
That's it.
you.
Right.
That's it. You got to always act. It's the same thing.
Fake it till you make it,
No,
guys.
sort of. But you know what? Remember, I mean, you guys are women. You guys understand in relationship. I'm doing the twist here. When a guy promises, bullshits, all that stuff, right? You guys are like, that's gaslighting me, whatever. But when he fucking acts and he comes through and he says, I'm coming to your Thanksgiving with your parents, and he shows up and he comes, how different do you love him when he comes through for you physically in real life and he's showing it rather than just bullshitting and talking?
Right.
Look at the difference. Right there is your answer. You gotta just keep acting. And you know what? It's fucking tough. It's scary. It's scary out there because nothing is made in the shade. But let me tell you, you'll definitely lose if you don't try. So that's kind of the vibe.
I 100% agree.
Okay. Now, fast forward to now, okay? Because I know there's a lot of artists that might be listening.
Yeah.
What advice would you give any artist who's starting off? Because obviously, from the time of when you started to now, things have changed like
Dramatically.
Like
yeah.
the radio
dramatically.
does barely exist
like,
anymore.
Just thinking about like when at your time you're waiting there, like, do people like my song? Versus now you can pop something out on social media and like everybody knows if it's a
Overnight.
hit or not overnight. You don't
Right.
even need a record label.
No.
Versus back then you needed a record label.
So there's a lot of pros and cons to that, but I think it's a pro for sure.
Right.
I'm taking advantage of it. I'm on TikTok. I'm killing it on TikTok. I've got like 350,000 followers. We're about to hit. We're gonna get 1 million by next year for sure.
Same.
We're 100%. And you know what? And it's a whole different game. You think just because I'm Karl Wolf and I go on TikTok, you think anybody gave a fuck? Nobody. There's celebrities out there. If they don't work, nothing's moving in this day and age. If you have content that's greater than the celebrity, your content's moving fast.
Yeah.
So you got to be
Facts.
clever, intelligent, cool, fun, and engaging, entertaining,
It's so
whatever
true.
it is.
Like if your content's shit, it's not gonna do well, regardless of who you are. Yeah, okay,
Regardless.
maybe you'll have a little bit of a boost,
Yeah,
but
you might have a boost. You got the fucking, the check mark. All my fucking things are check marks. People, but you know what people used to say at the beginning of my TikTok when I first started it? Because Gary Vee was the one who advised me to go on TikTok. He told me was it 2 years ago? He said, Carl, you got to get on TikTok. You got to do a TikTok. Like, TikTok is everything. Trust me, you'll be good at it. Him and I got to shout out someone. Sorry. It's called the Shout Out Podcast. Chris Fade. Chris Fade from Virgin Radio Dubai. That guy, he was the one too. He was like, Carl, you would do so well. And I didn't believe him. I was like, what do you...
Sorry.
By the way, this thing the whole time I'm remembering. No.
Do you
By
want
the
me to
way,
remove our
just to let you
frame?
know, I see Alicia staring at me giving me stink eye the whole time.
I'm not.
She's like, every
I'm
time I
waiting
touch
for
this,
it to fall.
I wouldn't have said anything, but just looking at her, I was like, okay, she's mad at me right now.
I'm not mad. I'm not
Did you
mad.
paint this or something? Are you the artist? Gosh.
In 1 second, I'm just removing it.
Oh, 100%. One more hit, then it's off the wall.
Okay, I'll stay away.
He's gonna knock it out. I don't even have
By
to
the
do
way,
it.
as I forward my chair a little bit, just so I don't hit.
Honestly, no stress.
Anyway, so Chris Fade was like, dude, you will kill it, because I saw him do it and he was getting some traction and he was getting like 10,000 views. I was like, oh my God, you're killing, man. Amazing. I thought he was like the guy, you know? By the way, you're still the guy. But I thought he was like the guy on TikTok. And then I said, you know what? Let me try. Okay, let me try. You gotta try. Fuck, you gotta try. I tried a couple of times. Nobody fucking gave a fuck. Nobody cared. So it was like, but I'm Karl Wolf, guys. You see in my mind because I'm, successful with my music.
Yeah.
Come on, like let's go. Nothing. So I tried different dance moves. I tried, coming up with. Then I started. Okay, I found my niche. I was like, oh, okay. I started producing. I was like, you know what? One time during the pandemic, I was like, let me try showing people that I produce my own music because they don't know that.
Right.
Let me try a house track. For the first time in my life, let me try a house track. How hard could it be? 122 BPM, that's the beats per minute. Bass, kick, drum, snare, with a hi-hat, no problem. I did it, and it fucking went viral. It was the song Getaway. I released Getaway, and that shit went gold. And Getaway, for those who know the song, it was from TikTok. So that was a whole marketing thing that clicked in my head. I'm like, fuck, every time I want to release a song, all I have to do is produce the song, garner all the marketing because, whoever owns TikTok, either China or whoever, they don't have barriers on it like sometimes Instagram. Now, Reels are opening up a little bit their algorithm, but the algorithm on TikTok, take advantage of it now.
Right.
Because it opens you up to the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's got no fucks given. Like, if
No
you're
filter.
if you're good, if you got a nice body, if you I don't know what you do, but whatever you do, people will want to watch if it's engaging enough and it's interesting enough.
Right.
So that's the time to take advantage of it, and it's working for me. I mean, we have a tour right now, so go get tickets. It's coming out in November and December. I'm coming to everywhere in Canada, and we're selling stuff on TikTok. We're marketing it on TikTok. I spoke to TikTok, so TikTok reached out to me too. So there's many little things that you can do. It's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely, obviously, you've pivoted your kind of business model to kind of, keep up with what's hot right now.
You have
to.
Yeah.
As anybody, in the music industry knows, you could be the most talented singer, but if no one hears you, if no one sees you, especially being in the right places, and which is TikTok, which is social media, no one's gonna care.
Yeah.
But I have a question based off of that. Do you think that right now it's still about talent, or is it about marketing? How good of a marketer you are? Because there is a lot of people who have skyrocketed to fame that without social media would never have, because they don't have the talent to get them there. Whereas I feel like, 20 years ago, it was really talent first, and people with crazy talent would sell. But now it's well, how good are you at marketing yourself?
Well, you nailed it.
Yeah.
It's are you a talented marketing promo guy? Because some people are fucking talented at that. So it's what I'll tell you what works. It's everything that's talented and hard to do. Everything that's hard to do, like a puppy skateboarding, is fucking cool. It's hard to do, to film it, and it's hard to do. Producing all these things quickly is hard to do. Come up with some dope shit. Whatever is whatever you're doing that's physically getting it done and putting it out there, that's not that easy and that's interesting to see, will win. That's why, cats or puppies, a bunch of Frenchies on the floor is so cute, and everybody wants to watch that because
Right.
you don't see that every day.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing.
It's
You should
that,
chase
yeah. And I also think
the
it's
scarcity.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's consistency, right?
Yeah.
You can be so good and start and give up, and you just, maybe you're that 1% that's Justin Bieber, that Usher finds you on the side of the road.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
realistically, if you want to be successful, you have to continue.
That's why they always said, my whole career, they've always said, trying is better than talent, or I don't know what the saying is, but it's talent is not everything.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to give it, if you're 50% talent, but 100% fucking, work ethic, that's what wins, 50-50, whatever. Don't count me on 100%. I know. I'm just saying, giving it 100% as opposed to giving it 50%. You know what I'm saying? So trying is everything. You got to give it. You got to give it, because then you're the one who works at it the most, right? You're just doing better than the next guy.
Right.
That's kind of how it is. Life is sort of a competition. And that's what Andrew Tate always used to say. Let's not go there. Let us not go there. We're
that's
not
a
getting
name we-
canceled.
Before we get into relationships,
We
and
are not
everything,
getting canceled.
when you became successful, we're just so curious on this question. What was the first
I love
thing?
how successful is a moment in time. It's a constant growth.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
feel. Can I be real with you?
Yeah.
I don't like to admit that I'm fully there. So I'm not fully there.
Well,
To
that's what
me-
makes you successful.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
100%. If you ask Drake, is Drake fully there? Of course, I think Drake is fully
Right.
there. Is The Weeknd fully there? Of course, I think.
But in their eyes, do they feel like they're fully
Because
there?
they're competing
Never.
with Taylor, someone else who's trying to get their number one
Yeah.
too. So it's all about perspective.
Perspective.
To someone new, all the artists that aren't on my level successfully, whatever, they will of course see that as, okay, aren't you satisfied with it? No. I want to be the number one on the planet. Like,
Yeah.
fuck
Right.
that. I want to be The Weeknd's position here, man. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not. This is my life. I live and I breathe. I live and breathe music. I'm joking. I'm joking.
no, put it down.
No, it
Put
looks
it
cool.
this way.
No, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do that because then later
like,
on in your
push it on the
podcast.
wall.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. I love
Push
it.
it. There we go.
Okay,
Boom.
good.
Now we're good.
Okay. So I think no one's really satisfied. In their unless you are, and then you retire.
Right.
So what's the first thing you bought yourself when you
Made it in your mind.
made it in your mind? Or
Your
Wow.
first big check.
like you
You're
did say you were taking care of your parents,
Yeah.
but like what were you like when I have money, this is the first thing I'm getting?
Well, the first thing I did was several things. I was
First
stupid.
thing.
I blew money. I bought cars. I bought all kinds of things, and like there was always a sports car that I really liked, which is the i8. It's a BMW with the gull wing doors,
Okay.
like a Lamborghini doors and whatever, and it's electric. It's half electric. Actually, it's a hybrid. So that was one. A condo. Purchased a condo. So that was really
was there
cool.
any that you regret that you were like, I thought
Yeah.
this would bring
selling
me
one of my condos for sure before the rise of everything, because I was like, fuck my life, because everybody was it just went like
Yeah.
And
real
would you
estate.
say you have the same crew you had when you started? Like same friends, like a Drake situation where it's like, I'm going to bring everybody with me.
Yeah. At the beginning of my career, so what's crazy is people, before I became successful or whatever that is, people were kind of hating because I was in the mind state of already being there.
That's how you know you're doing something right. If
Yeah.
someone hates, you're like, I'm
But
getting
because
there.
I was there in my mind.
Right.
So there was a quick story. So there was a moment I was watching Backstreet Boys at MTV Europe Music Awards, and I remember clearly, they were performing, and I was sitting down with this was in college, okay, in university, whatever, and I was sitting with my boy. No shout outs. Okay. And I was like, one day I could do that. That's me. I see it. I can see it. I could do that. That's totally in my grasp. I could fucking do it. And I thought he was gonna hype me up too. And he literally looked at me and he said, Carl, you're so full of yourself. You're so full of shit. You think you're like the Backstreet Boys. You think you're ever gonna make it like that? You're so fucking delusional. Who the fuck do you think? And he was laughing. And I thought to myself, motherfucker, it doesn't believe me. It hurt me so much that my friend doesn't see what I see.
Right.
And then obviously,
but also that's what makes you like fucking
but ready?
go at
Ready
it.
for this? Ready for this? I won an MTV Europe Music Award in Liverpool in 2010 or whatever the fuck it was.
Wow.
And that was the same stage in Liverpool that they performed at. And that's poetic justice right there.
That's full circle, baby.
Full circle. You know?
Did he reach out to you?
He's my very good friend to this day. So hopefully he's not watching this.
Very good friend, but
No, but you know what? But
I keep him around to show him that I made it.
my point is, now everybody, when you've proved it, everybody's a bandwagoner.
Right, of course.
Right.
Of course. We always talk about that. How like when you're struggling and when you're hustling, nobody wants to support you. And once you've made it to the point where in their perspective you are successful and it's cool to like you now,
Yeah,
now
now it's like
everybody's
I'm
in
in
your
my
corner.
boy Carl.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it. So 100%. By the way, for everyone out there who's listening to this, who wants to, who's striving to become something special in their life, just know that the people at the beginning are not going to support, even if they don't support you, it doesn't mean it can't change. So just keep believing in yourself and know it deep inside, because once you prove it to them, everybody's going to come around. Everybody, watch it. It's so beautiful. It's really, and you know what? It's
Satisfying.
okay. I forgive them. It's
Yeah.
fine, because they're I get it. Who's going to believe some dreamer?
Yeah.
But when you're a doer, different story.
It's like you said, you have to, show the action. So once people see it, they
That's it.
believe it.
That's it. They believe it.
Okay, well, moving on from that, I want to get into stuff. Obviously, we're talking a little bit about friends. Do you keep your same circle around you? But I think, being anybody that's successful, it changes how people treat you, whether it be like people supporting you. Like you said, people come around more. I'm sure you've seen like more people come around you for maybe the wrong reasons. So that being said, when it comes to dating, where are you at in the dating world? Are you the type of guy that like
He's already sweating.
I'm sure, I mean, look, I feel like it's the natural process to, you get a bunch of money, you get a bunch of fame, you fuck bitches. I feel like that's just the
let's start at that stage.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the new.
That's a new style.
That's how it works. You get, which we always say, at the end of the day, money is power.
Yeah.
And you get girls when you have money. Yeah. That's how it is. So do you feel like you went through that stage in the beginning where you're just like, I just want to hook up with as many people as I can?
Yes.
I like how he says yes and nothing else.
Yes. That was
where's all the explanations all of a sudden?
That's it. I told you guys.
Where's the shout-outs?
Like, were you even having to try or not even? Girls would just throw themselves.
Like, did you notice a significant difference when it came to like, once people started knowing who you were?
Yes.
Was it suddenly like, oh, now it's like, oh, now you guys all want to come around?
So a quick, interesting story. So when I was in university or college, I remember being in a class and I was sitting next to this girl. Shout out again. Can I shout out one more?
Shout her out. She's not Laura, but shout her out.
Her name is Mia. Okay. I hope you're doing well, Mia. It's been a long time. Okay. And I remember I was in like I would see her in class and I was in love with this girl. I was 18, something. I was 18 actually, 18 or 17 or 18. And I was in the class and I used to look at her. I'm like, oh my God, I want her so bad. She's so beautiful. So I befriended her. She liked me. She thought I was funny, like whatever. But she totally friend zoned me, right? Like, Carl. I was like, okay, let's go out on a dinner or something. She's like, Carl, you're such a nice guy. I like you as a friend. Remember when they used to say that? I like you as a friend.
For a guy to hear that, that's
I
hit it where
that.
it hurts.
We hate it.
Yeah.
We hate friend. We don't want to be a friend. We want much more than a friend, okay? So she's like, yeah, but you're so nice and you're like my friend, So I was like, all right, whatever. But she liked this other guy in class who's also a friend of mine. Shout out, Miggs. These people are like, this was Dawson, man. That was like Dawson or Concordia. I can't remember. But anyway, Mia at the time. And I was like so into her, but she would friend zone me. Now, that, ever since it became Karl Wolf, whatever, that doesn't happen.
The friend zone.
It doesn't happen. They know when I'm around and I'm interested in you. I don't know what changed there. Is it my confidence? Is it maybe I wasn't like...
Well, it's like we said at the beginning, when you're getting all this attention...
Right. Maybe.
Suddenly it's like,
right.
Well...
I want to be a part of it.
So
yeah.
Maybe. So I've never heard friend zone ever again.
Right.
In Karl Wolf life.
But does that make you think, like, do these people actually like me for who I am?
Or do they like me because I'm Karl?
You got to use your better judgment. Obviously, some girls know, I've been on tour where I've had some fun. Okay, listen, I've been a good boy in a long time, which I'm really proud of because I've had good relationships in my life. But prior to that, I would say prior to 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe even 9 years, whatever, I would have fun. It was more like party. I was younger. I was just having a blast.
Like you didn't care about whether or not they were there for the right reasons.
I didn't care. Right. That wasn't my issue, But the girlfriends, when I started having girlfriends as well, of course it mattered. You know what I mean? Are they... But you choose your partner based on like connection and you could feel the love. You could feel, you could see what she does in her life. You get, her brothers, her sisters.
I was going to ask you like, what made it different from like a girl you were just fucking to like a girl you decided to actually be like, I will date?
Well, I guess.
Were you like, maybe I'll fuck her and then see it out? Or when if you fuck them too soon, were you like, nah?
That's a misconception. Okay, because I know
Let's hear it.
Some girls think, oh, if I don't want to sleep with him right away because I want him to. Maybe that's worked for me. Okay, but it's also worked for me where she slept with me the first night and I wrote her the next day and she was surprised. She was like,
right.
That was one of. Anyway, like one of my. I don't want to talk about it, but she was one of them was like that,
right.
Where I slept with her first and then hit her up and said, what's up, and then she was like, oh my God, why is he hitting me up? Like, I thought you were just a rock star coming to just whatever.
Right.
No, I dated her and I loved her,
What made her different besides the vagine?
I'm kidding. Right.
Just like connection, like just vibes?
Connection, vibe, smile, feeling, things that you connect with another person.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But so it doesn't depend on just, I don't sleep with him.
Right.
You might turn me off with that. Like, okay, if you don't sleep with him, maybe I might not be into it. I don't know.
Right.
There's no rule,
Interesting.
man. It's not
Yeah.
just because you don't. However, it did also work out when I was interested in a girl and she didn't sleep with me for a while. I was also reaching out and trying, so that
Yeah.
does work in your favor too, girls, just to
It's
let you know.
situational.
It's
It's-
situational,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It also depends where you are at in your life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a question. Is there something that, when you're talking to a girl or you're going on dates, I don't know if you date, but is there something that like this is a red flag for me? Like the fact that you're this way is either a red flag showing me that maybe you're not here for the right reasons or that you're not a genuine person. Like what's your personal red flags when it comes to women?
Interesting. It's really clouded me, I think, throughout the years because I've been surprised with certain things. So it's hard to know. You never know someone's inside, deeper thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as a person who's in the public eye, you got to be a little bit aware. But you'd like to think that she's into you because of other things, not just because of what you can offer.
Right.
On the other, it's not like
Right.
I'm Drake either. I
Yeah.
think, I appreciate you guys, the success, and I'm humbled by it. I love it, but we're not in a position where people will it's not Justin Bieber here. So I'm lucky actually that I get to live a normal, somewhat life.
Interesting,
Obviously in
yeah.
the public eye. And still have a normal world with family and friends, and where I can go out to the mall. And some of these guys, I feel bad for them. Is money worth it? Is all the money in the world worth it? In my
Is it?
opinion, no.
So if you could be tomorrow Justin Bieber, would you choose?
Hell no.
No?
At moments I would, because I would love to do the concerts. I would love to. I see, selling out 70,000 seats. From that perspective, of course, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
If you guys know, I've done concerts of like 20,000, 15,000, 10,000. It feels fucking awesome, man. It's just everybody connecting with you at that moment with your songs. It's such a beautiful thing.
Adrenaline.
But to live a life of you can't go anywhere, you got to be private, you got to be it's too extreme.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to talk that out of existence. I
Right.
got to put it out in the universe because I think that's part of sometimes what hinders me going to that thing. It's like I'm putting it out there. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's get the whole win. And I will treat it with love and energy and good respect and everything. I'll be better at it, because I know it messes people up, especially when they're younger. I got fame later on in my life. I came to Canada only when I was like 17.
Right.
So to start my career, it was later. It was like 20, 21, 22, 23. That's when I started doing something. So I wasn't like 14 like Justin Bieber, like
That
10
never got to
or
have.
whatever.
So,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So
childhood.
now you live in Toronto.
Yeah.
But when you came down from Lebanon, it was Montreal. So Montreal girls or Toronto girls? He's like, don't fucking do this
You
to
can't,
me.
you can't- so first of all,
What's the difference between both
okay,
of us?
I love Montreal girls. So Montreal girls are amazing. Toronto girls are amazing. So you got Canadian girls, by the way,
Yeah.
are the best. I'll say that.
I was gonna say that about you. I'm like, there's really something about like Canadian vibes, like energy. Because like obviously you weren't born in Canada, but like if you've lived here long enough, you are Canadian.
Even Montreal, there's a beautiful
Yeah.
energy to Montreal. Every time I come to Montreal, like, look at them. They're amazing girls. And
I have something interesting actually. I like that you with everything that we ask you, you don't want to like pick a certain box. And like you just said now, I said like, would you want to be the next Justin Bieber? And you're like, technically no, but I don't want to block that off.
Yeah.
So I think part of what makes you interesting and maybe something that brings you to who you are today is the fact that you're not ever choosing one thing. You don't have a red flag for women. You're not ready to cancel anything out. You're just kind of open for any
And
opportunity.
going with the flow.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really interesting perspective because
Smart.
a lot of people will set rules for themselves, will set things like, oh no, I don't want this, or I don't like that, or I don't like when people do this because it means they're like this. And we always set ourselves these kind of barriers that in a way stop us from reaching our full potential.
Yeah.
So, if you're always going on this, red flag of I don't like when she's too loud, then like suddenly you block yourself off of all these people that might actually
And
have
also
so much to offer you.
psychologically, because
Yeah.
you said that, you almost feel like if you did have a connection with a girl, you're like, well, fuck, I can't because I've
Yeah.
set that rule for myself. So you're kind of blocking it off subconsciously.
You know what's interesting?
And in your life, it seems like
Yeah.
that idea has translated into your life and the way you live your life and the way you chase your
it's
goals.
a very good observation. It's great observation, actually. Thank you.
Welcome
'Cause
to the
like, I'm gonna-
Chemical
I'm
X
gonna write
Pod.
that
down. Dude,
He's
you
like,
guys are-
wow, my best interview.
It is, because I'm learning something about myself.
Welcome to therapy.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Did you guys talk to my
It's an intervention.
ex-girlfriends here? No, I'm
Actually,
joking.
we're paid to be doing this right now.
Well,
Girls come out.
that's it. One by one.
They all start walking in. Starts with Lara.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. From,
The OG.
oh my God, 10 years old. My 10-year-old self is coming back. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
You guys are probably looking at our beautiful outfits, which I don't blame you for. I mean, we look absolutely divine. If you guys are interested in getting some really cute clothing pieces for, vacation, for date night, or for any night really, we always like a nice good dress, some beautiful bodysuits. Head on to Carte Blanche, and we're giving you guys a discount code of 25%. So Chemical X 25 at checkout for 25% off. Now this site also has luxury items. It's a consignment shop.
So if you're looking for any designer goods that are consignment or like any other brands, like kind of more like contemporary brands and like vintage pieces, you can find that all at Carte Blanche. So don't forget to use our discount code. And guys, as usual, for our men out there, if, luxury goods are not your thing, it's fine. It's fine. We'll forgive you because this is the only other option you have. And it's tailor-made, Italian-made suits. And you're going to get those at izotti.com, where they specialize in making a hot, hugging, nice suit.
Using our discount code Chemical X at checkout, you'll receive 20% off your entire order.
So head on over and happy shopping.
I'm dating now. She's an amazing woman from Toronto.
So
Someone
I see why
in your
you.
city.
I see
Yeah,
why
in
you
my
didn't
own
want to
city.
answer Toronto or Montreal. We get it. We'll let
Now you
it
understand.
slide.
Now you understand, of course. No,
he's
but
smart. He's strategic.
He's smart. He
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
he has to say Montreal because we're here, but his girlfriend's from Toronto. So it's like, whose feelings are you hurting?
Exactly.
You
but
know what I
also
mean?
my mom's from Montreal, so I love.
Oh, you
So I
can't compete with the mob.
That's
You
it,
know
the
what? We'll
moms.
leave it at no answer. We'll leave it at no answer.
Exactly. But yeah, so I'm seeing an amazing woman. She's CEO of her company. She's killing it. Like, she's so smart, so cool. So I'm the luckiest man in the world right now. I'm very, very happy with her. But she told me one thing that's really interesting. She asked me, what's your favorite, because this goes to your point, what's your favorite color? And I said, and I thought about it. I'm like, I don't have a favorite color. Because I don't know. Sometimes, I actually love pink here and I love blue there. And in my life, I've realized I don't put favorites. There's no such thing like as favorites. I love alien movies. I love shark movies. I'm into many, many things that move me. I think I am malleable. And I think, Veronica, you nailed it. Like, you're actually teaching me something about myself right here. I'm not even kidding. This is really special to hear because I do move with the wave and the tide. And that does aid to my success.
Right.
Because I think in this day and age, in any business you do, how many times, Pascal will attest, who's my manager, Pascal, shout out to Pascal, we've set up, a plan, right? You set up a plan. Okay, we're doing this single.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot this video. We're going to put this money in marketing. We're going to do this promo. We're going to do this tour. You do all that, and then nobody fucking likes the song. So then it's like, okay, so we just released everything, and it's not charting. And then you say, okay, I just worked. Oh my God, did you hear the remix of Africa I just did? Let's release it next week. And that became the big song. So you got to be able to maneuver. I think it's called flexibility.
Yeah.
I'm 99% better at flexibility than 99% of the people in my age group.
Interesting.
Flexibility meaning the ability to do this thing and then to switch quickly.
Right.
And do that thing well and do this thing well and then keep moving. So that's an interesting, thank you for that.
So then maybe, what I was going to say before is we were talking about, luck and opportunity and all those things. And like, my question is like, what sets you apart? I think that could be one of the things is like being flexible because not that many people are flexible. Not that many people are open to opportunity. They want it, but they're closing doors for themselves.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think so. Because
Yeah?
they have a preconceived notion
Yes,
of something they don't
yes.
like.
It's all mindset.
Interesting. And
Life
for me, I'm
is
just kind of
mindset.
malleable. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Why not? Okay.
Yeah.
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 I agree. I love a lot of things I just love dope shit. I don't care. Some people say, oh, what do you like? What's your favorite? I don't give a fuck. If it's dope, man, I love it. And they're like, but you like horror movies. Why do you like that? I'm like, because it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Why are you watching Kardashian? Dope. You know.
Okay, I have a question though. Back to your girlfriend.
Mm.
You said that she is a CEO of her company.
Yeah.
And what I find interesting, I'm just going to ask you a general question here. Would it bother you being somebody who's successful, you know, in our perspective, you have fame, you have money,
Sure.
you're, you know, in the public eye. Would it bother you to date somebody who makes more money than you?
That's a good question. I was thinking.
That's a good question. I don't care personally because I would love to big her up and win together. I actually encourage it. I did have a girlfriend once that didn't have sort of a passion for something, and I think it fizzled away, our relationship. I want someone with a passion. I want someone who has their mind made up of something that they love, even if they're just following something amazing in their life. It really inspires me too to help, because I love to help. Like even with my girlfriend right now, I'm like, whatever you need, baby. Like I'm literally putting boxes away, like whatever she needs. Even think about it this way: any entrepreneur who, if you're dating an entrepreneur, there's a saying like this: if you're dating an entrepreneur, you're automatically the assistant. You know, so she's my assistant too when it comes to like, you know, routing the tour, or like, okay, trying to get like brands to kind of, she helps out. So it's really cool. I love that. I just love someone who's so passionate in their life. It's really cool.
I feel like they can also understand you better, and they'll know like babe, this is an opportunity, I have to take it. Whereas like somebody who doesn't have that passion will have a harder time like understanding that and really riding the wave of your success.
True. That's true. Because then if it's someone just working for a company,
Because then it's jealousy, and then it's
And it happened to me before. It's happened to me many times in my life. It's because most of them, I think, maybe there's a reflection there. You know, most of my relationships that didn't end up well is because I was so focused and determined in my world. And I love what I do, that it's not that I neglect them. I don't. I'm a very attentive boyfriend. I'm very there. I love that. But they feel like, okay, what about my life? I'm not focusing on my life as much as you. So they always compare and compete, but I'm so driven and so passionate that it's hard to. So sometimes I keep that in mind somehow.
Yeah.
I gotta, you know.
I think I'm like that too, actually. Now that you're saying that, I'm that kind of person. But I think, you know, that's why I'm drawn to people who are driven and have their own things going for them, because in a certain way, it's like, I don't want to feel guilty for working on myself. So it's like, I know that you're good, I'm good, like, let's hustle.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's go. Let's be a power team.
Yeah. But I think a lot of men, like for women, it's very common to want to have a guy who is either like, you know, maybe more successful for you or as successful as you are, or, you know, we tend to be drawn to people who are above us.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas I feel like men are usually drawn to women who are under them.
Smart.
And I think a lot of men would not like to date someone who either makes more money than them or, you know, has a very powerful position, because maybe it makes them feel insecure or something like that.
I've seen that happen.
or less of a man. Yeah.
I've seen that happen with other relationships from my ex-girlfriends or my girlfriend.
Right.
You know, who dated other people and said, yeah, that's how she felt, like, because she was so driven. And something, I've heard that before. For me, it doesn't affect me. I think, like you said, I'm very malleable with it. I think it's cool if she's like a CEO, like my girlfriend, killing it. I mean, I love
How
seeing
did you
her.
guys meet?
Through friends.
Okay.
Through friends on
Would you say
New
that's
Year's.
the best way to meet someone?
I think so.
Because they're kind of like, what's the word?
They give you kind of like what do they call a cosign?
Yeah.
They give you a cosign. So you,
But
at
they're
least-
filtered also, right?
filtered, yeah. But it's someone that you know, that you respect, that knows her, and I think it's more for the girl, for the guy, not for me. Like, you know,
Right.
It's I don't know why it's a little more. Maybe a guy could be crazy, dangerous.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be, you know, you never know, right? So for her to know that, oh, Carl's a good guy, and I've known him for 10 plus years. He's always been sweet to me. That means
That's
you're good
true.
to me. You know, things like that. You know.
As girls, we love to hear that like someone is like talked about like
well.
That's it.
But or else
obviously
we have our like preconceived notions,
Yeah.
or like I don't know, and then that can kind of like cloud our judgment.
Yeah, but
for
you know
sure.
what? Being with someone like me, it has its perks, but it also has its downfalls, right?
Okay,
Like,
so you walk in the club with your girl.
Yeah.
What do you not want to happen?
No, we've had that conversation. So in my like dating life,
Yes.
sometimes the reason I came on this podcast, one of the main reasons, other than I love Veronica, she's awesome, and Alicia, of course, you know, but I wanted to chime in on some of the relationship, sex stuff, behavioral stuff between men and women, and just give a little bit of my feeling on some of the subjects you guys are coming up with.
Carl was like, you guys talk about things and I just want to chime in and I want to
Big time.
talk. And I'm like, I can understand that because a lot of times Veronica and I go out and guys will stop us and be like, I love your podcast. I keep watching, but it makes me mad. Like, because obviously men who are listening, we're talking for men, essentially. And men are like, no, that's not how I feel. Like, that's not it. So like, I can understand the wanting to like debate certain topics.
Totally. But it's more to your point. I'm here to add to the conversation.
For sure.
Because I actually respect these women. And I think that you guys are coming up with such good content. Incredible that actually you guys are being used for others. I see other people using your content first. So I'm so proud of you. When I saw that, I sent it to you guys. It's someone I know actually from Miami. Christian Dior. He's like a rapper.
Social media, guys. Don't give up.
No, but it's awesome. It's great. And I just want to chime in because there's certain things that I feel as a man that could help women out there. You know, that's what it's all about. It's because here's the thing. Some women don't want to hear, just like some men don't want to hear what the women have to say. It's
and
like,
that's
bro,
our problem.
you gotta hear.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to hear it, but that's what women are feeling. And women, that's what men are feeling. I know you don't like it, but that's how we feel. So where can I chime in and help out and maybe help your relationship potentially? Can I have one of those bubblegum things?
Of course.
For real?
Do you want a big one or do you want a little
He's
one?
like, why aren't you pressing
Always
it
a big
off?
one.
Yeah, but it's because it's broken. I have to do it the getaway.
Yeah, the things nobody knows.
Are they seeing it? Oh, yeah, they are.
Also-
you guys
the-
invested a lot here. By the way, guys, this studio is crazy.
Oh my God,
So I'm
thank
so proud
you.
of you. Yeah, I'll eat it later. I mean,
Okay. You're gonna
It's gonna
regret
be
it.
a little bit hard.
You're
Is
gonna
it a
regret it.
gobstopper?
when-
You might break a tooth or two.
It's just like a really hard bubble gum.
He's like,
She's
God
the only one that like it.
So that gumball
Pink?
machine actually comes from my ex-boyfriend, and we spray painted it. And I was like, "This is not coming back with a divorce. This made our set."
Yeah,
you
this
didn't
is
spray
big.
paint these.
No. Imagine, I'd be a little late
Karl
to
Wolf
tell you.
dies in 2022.
Okay, so I have a question then. What would you say that in your life, specific to you, in what you've experienced in your life, in your dating and relationships and fucking around, what would be your biggest piece of advice to give women when it comes to men?
Amazing. Can I take this
Fuck
out
on
first?
the first date. He's like, "Fuck on the first date. It doesn't matter."
She took the words right out of my gum. So good.
Is it?
I haven't had one on my own.
Yeah. You know what? In 1 minute, you're gonna realize there's absolutely no taste, and you're gonna need
God.
6 more.
So good. So good.
Okay, so my question was, as you know, the life that you've lived, the people that you've dated, whether it be like, you know, long-term relationships or fucking around, anything like that, but being the person that you are and at the level you are in life, what would be the biggest piece of advice that you have to give women about men?
Ooh. There's many, man. That's the problem. There's so many. There's so many differences between guys and girls, man. It's so easy for me to navigate, you know, as a man. You know, I know my manhood. I know what I want. I know how, you know, it's hard. I found it hard, very hard to explain, at least to my girlfriends. Maybe to my girl friends who are just friends, it's easier. They digest it better when I tell them something. But as a girlfriend, it's always been so difficult to say what I really want. All men really, really want is to have, I know it sounds like, but we're not a piece of meat. We just don't own us and walk around and have us on your arm. We're also, you know, of course we have our own minds and our own lives, of course. But one really important thing is when, let's say, me as a public person to go out, let's say we're doing meet and greets, events, things like that. I feel really strong and very proud when my woman is with me. I feel very proud when my woman's got her arm around me. I feel it's not that I can get any woman in the world, but I'm dating you, and I love you, and you're with me, and it makes me feel so good to show the other men in the place that my woman has so much love and respect for me that it gives me this extra edge.
That she stands by you.
Stands by me. And it's more for the respect from the men to say, wow, okay, let's do a business deal. This man has his woman with him. He's good, strong man. It means his woman is there with it. You don't understand that. Women don't, they think it's like, I want to talk to anybody I want to. So why do I have to be by your side? And I'm like, I know. It's just
It's more like the other men and what they're going to think
That's it.
of your women.
If she's talking around everywhere. And it's like, okay, that's my girlfriend. I know she's awesome. She's the best. She's like so funny. Everyone loves her. I know she's cool. At least at my events.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least
yeah.
on like when people are there for my thing. It's different
Yeah.
if we're at a party. Like, obviously,
I mean,
babe,
it
like,
makes
whatever.
sense because even like being a woman and like you go out and you're with your man, like at the end of the day, your biggest fear is like, what are other women gonna think of my man if he like starts walking away and
Right.
he's so it's the same
Flirty with every girl.
exactly. Like
And
you're
you're
like, I want my
how does it make you look
Yeah.
in front of girls?
so
Other
it's
girls
as
would-
different as we think we are kind of the same.
Absolutely.
What I think is funny though is that a lot of times, and I think this more so for men, but definitely agree that it is for women,
Yeah.
that we do certain things or want certain things out of our partner for our own
Benefit?
for our own sex. It's like we're doing things.
Yeah.
We want a man to be a certain way, not for men, but for other women. Or
Correct.
like,
For example, a guy will be like, I love your dress. I'll be like, oh, thanks. He's just trying to sleep with me. But if a girl tells me I love
Yeah.
your dress, it's
Yeah.
like, babe, like,
Yeah.
she really likes my dress.
But it's
Does that make
interesting.
sense? Like,
Absolutely
Yeah.
makes sense.
it's interesting how we do things for the approval of the people around us. And I
Yeah.
think it's like, as women, I always say there's like a lot of competition. Like I think men and women, for women, we compete a lot against like beauty and looks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas men compete around
Money.
power.
Money and power, bro.
Money is power at the end of the day.
And power
But it is.
power to your people.
Yeah. But having
not-
a woman on your arm is power. It's a position of power.
Just the one woman. Just
Yeah.
the one woman that I put all my intensity, all my eggs in. That woman.
All my eggs
No,
in.
but for real.
Okay.
Yo, whoa. Yo, that's
We
good.
got
That's good.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Literally
know
and
what you
figuratively. That's perfect, actually. Yeah, all my eggs in. No, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Have you ever cheated?
Whoa, okay.
I can't believe I'm admitting something like this, but yeah, this is not anything recent at all. We're talking really long
So
time
you think
ago.
somebody can cheat and change and then be a loyal man?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
on this podcast, Veronica states that if
I've said this in the past, is that like people can be loyal based, especially men, can be loyal based on how many opportunities they have to be loyal. So it's like a guy, a regular guy, whatever he can get, this is his league of girls. And then he comes into contact with maybe a lot of money, maybe a lot of success, maybe
Then
a
you
lot
got
of
high
fame.
value men. You talk about high value men.
Here we go.
That-
Andrew
Okay, let's
Tate.
get it,
Here
let's
we
get it.
go.
I'm not necessarily saying high value man.
Yeah.
I'm saying he comes into contact with these things that are, places of power for a man, where now suddenly they're opened up to a whole new world of women who want them.
Okay, ready?
So is it harder to be loyal? Like, is that man still loyal, or does he just not have that many opportunities right now?
You nailed it though on so many things. You're correct. Luckily, I've as a person, because all I can think of is personally for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know friends and stuff, but personally for me, because I've always had I've had my time, on the tours, on the this, on the
Right.
that. Karl Wolf wanted, blah blah blah. It's not that it's worn off. It's always exciting when a girl likes you. It's always, but I know that So I've reached it. I've achieved it. I know I can get it.
Right.
With that knowledge, as a man, I feel I'm beautiful with my woman. But I still like to be cute and sexy and whatever for women to be like, oh my God, oh, Carl is so good. But that's good.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. That's enough for
Yeah.
me. But I think it's even stronger of a man and stronger of a high value man and an alpha male to be extremely loyal and be like, that's my woman, and be
Yeah.
proud of her and show that I'm your rock. I'm here for you. And that to me shows a lot of strength, because you're right. The temptation, it's hard out there, especially with everybody on Instagram.
Social
Everyone's
media.
trying to fuck everybody. You're hot, you're sexy. Of course, you think, okay, just because I have a girlfriend, you think I chop off my balls? You think I have no more eyes?
Yeah.
Of course I see beautiful, sexy women.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with them right now. But I know where to draw the line, and I know
Right.
what's respectful for my girlfriend, because that's important for me. So I think it's more of a mature state. I
But
think really that's what it comes down to.
I think, and like, there's a lot of talk of like high value men per se, and I think a lot of times it's like this whole idea that like, a high value man, he has all these options, he doesn't know you loyalty and all this stuff. But for me, if we're going to talk high value man, that's somebody who is loyal.
Correct.
Like
You nailed
that, being loyal
Yeah.
is a valuable quality.
Oh my God, of
Yeah.
course. The
To be
same way,
yeah.
the same way Andrew Tate was talking about how a woman has to be also, he was talking about how younger women in their 20s are better than women in their 30s. Or I think he went even worse. He went like 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
24.
He
And-
said because he's easily able to manipulate them.
No, beyond
I
that.
mean-
I think he said they haven't been through dick as much.
Right.
You know?
They don't have like their baggage
So
that they're
their-
coming
yeah.
in going.
Their value is scarce. He says when it's scarce, it has value. So everything that's scarce is value. Then it's also for the man, brother. So if you're scarce, it's also value to the woman. So it got to go both ways.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You know-
And that's what I said to that response is if you want to value scarcity and body count and say you want, but then you have to
We
have
have
to do
no
the same.
choice. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? I
Yeah.
mean, we have to acknowledge that it's also this way.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of men will think that's an unpopular belief. You know, I'm a man and this and that and stuff. I get it. But it's not the way that it should be. You
I
see?
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
do
I
you
think,
do you think if a guy fucks around a lot in his 20s and got a lot of pussy that he has a better chance of being loyal in the future?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the other ones you should worry about.
The
It's
ones who date their high school sweethearts and marry them.
Correct.
That's what happened with my aunt. He fucked the secretary.
Correct. Because when the opportunity comes up, you're gonna say, "Oh my God, she's so sexy, she's so hot." We can't.
Right, because
we're human beings.
She's
Yeah.
all you've ever known. So like,
When a new woman comes in the thing, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna go for it. But when I always use this example. It's like when you're fighting. I took karate for a long time, and when you're fighting, and
What
when-
else did you do?
what have you not done?
Should I have added karate? There were so many things I could have added in the intro.
Tennis, karate.
Tennis star.
No, but actually, my it was I took some kung fu.
okay.
Do you want to shout her out?
Yeah, the teacher.
Shout out, Mr. Lee. I'm not joking. By the way, Mr. Lee used to beat me up.
Okay, wait.
It was.
Oh my God, is this a
it
Me
was.
Too
It was.
movement?
It was child abuse. I was 15.
Okay, I'm not laughing.
It was.
Whoa.
It was a private. Like it was a private lesson with Mr. Lee.
This is sounding really.
And he would no. He didn't do it molest me or something. He would beat me up. Like he would just go. He would say defend yourself, and he would kick, punch, but really hard. I told my parents.
My
I said,
God.
man, I'm really getting hurt. They're like coming back.
Mom, you're
with
paying
bruised
me to
eyes.
get back in.
It was really bad. But my point is, I always use this as an analogy. When a fighter sees a punch coming at him, it's different than when a normal person sees a punch. The normal person won't see a punch coming at him. But when a fighter sees it, he just does this. It's just like a quick tap. He knows, he could see the shoulder. He knows what to look for. He's seen a punch come a million times.
Right.
Same thing with a guy who's had a lot of girls.
Right.
He's seen it come a lot. So he knows, okay, she's sexy. Fuck, I would love to. But I'm going to go and
The biggest fuck boy, DM me.
Literally.
that's it. Fuck boys, DM her. There you go.
But
now you're
what
set.
I think is interesting
It's
is
true though. It's true. Keep that in mind.
what I think is interesting
That's what
is
I thought.
your,
I was interested to hear
I've
your
spoken
point
about
of view.
that in the past,
Yeah.
but I think it's widely thought that on the other end, that women who sleep around a lot are less loyal. So how does that work now? Because now we're saying, and look, I agree with the idea that
That's
men
true,
who
though.
fuck around a lot are likely to be more loyal when they're in a relationship because they've seen it. They're not like hungry for opportunity. But wouldn't
Right.
that be the same thing for a woman?
It's tricky. What we're doing is we're trying to
But
generalize
women,
too,
it's more
guys.
like
Yeah, we are
emotional,
generalized.
whereas like men, I feel like
totally.
It's-
So totally that's true. You know.
Yeah.
So
he's like, let's dive right in.
no, let's not dive into Tate. But he says that cheating for women is different than cheating for men.
I would agree with that though.
I do agree with that
yeah.
because for like.
Veronica doesn't agree with
No, I agree.
No,
I think it's both
not
equally
cheating.
wrong.
Not
Yeah,
cheating.
for
motives
sure.
are different.
Sex for women is different than sex for men. Sex for men, unfortunately, we're very visual, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see shapes, we see pretty, we see done up, we see that. Yalla, we're good to go. Yalla habibi, actually. Okay, yalla habibi. Okay, yalla habibi. Yeah, that was the song. It was about that. But when women see, they see different things. They see, connection, blah blah blah. So we don't think that way, by the way. And if we do connect with a woman, it's because we're, luckily we emotionally connected, or the sex was cool that we were like, oh my God, but I liked her eyes. I liked her. There's other things that connect the dots. However, at the same time, we're generalizing. All these things are really, they could be that way.
Yeah.
They could be this way. I realized in time, guys, I swear to God, I realized that men and women are very, very similar. I used to say, oh, women are like that and women are like, but then I hear some women talk, like some friends of mine.
Yeah.
Just friends, girlfriends. And I'm like, dude, that's like, you're a dude, basically. And then, so I'm confused.
Yeah,
I think it's
I know
just,
what you mean.
it's just what it is. It's just
Yeah.
we're human.
Yeah.
You know, but we can't seem to convince everyone that.
I mean, everybody, like I was saying, like you don't do, everybody tries to fit everything into boxes and like, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Or like, women are this way, men are this way. I think there's so many in between. I think, yeah, sure, we could generalize. We could sit here and say for women, sex is different. But like, there's a lot of women out there that sex is purely physical. They purely see shapes. And,
Totally.
You know, and
Totally.
that's
And
what it
sizes.
is. And that's what it is. But I do think, like, to a certain extent, there are differences. But I truly believe that, like, if you're going to say something for one person, like body count, you know, like, if
it
you
has
value
to go for both.
it has to go for both. So if we say fucking around might make you more loyal, then the same could be said for a woman.
In this day and age, it has to be, because that's what's really happening. I've seen, you know, I've been in the industry and I've been around for a while. And I've noticed the difference between and the shift of Instagram and social media and how it's affecting men and women's relationships and sex and love. I've seen that all flip. Women today can be alpha too. And in fact, I see them doing that. Like, oh, I want the best cars. My girlfriend's like that. She wants, like, she's like, you see that house? We're buying that house. I'm buying that house. That's for me. You see that car? I'm like, you're into cars? No. No. She's like, I'm in a network, and she's in a business with all men.
Yeah.
It's all a man's business. She's in a plant. She's the plant-based CEO. That's her thing. And so she's the CEO of a Future of Cheese. I'll plug it anyways.
I fucking love cheese.
Yeah,
so-
Oh my God.
She has
Shout out to her.
a vegan brie that's to die for. It's called
Oh
the
my
Future
God.
of Cheese.
Wow.
So
I
clever.
love
She's
Brie,
the
so I'd be so
co-founder.
down to try
Wow.
it.
Sorry, I'm so proud of her. So I'm trying to promote her thing, but she's amazing.
Shout her out. Do it.
Yeah. So Future of Cheese, go get it, futureofcheese.com. She's incredible. And the brie is one of a kind, and it's made out of cashews. So and it's doing so well.
Wow.
She sold it for $6 million to Organic Garage. So, you know,
Wow.
it got bought out by
Girl
them.
boss.
Yeah, girl
we
boss.
love it here.
Love
Yeah,
to
and she's
see
the
it.
co-founder, and she has another beauty line which is vegan as well, called Spoil Me Beautiful as well. She's so clever. She's so cool. She's so, anyway, but she's so like.
Oh my God, can we hang out with her?
You have to. When you
Well,
guys
we're
come
gonna
to
have her
Toronto,
on next.
you should have her on next.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Done.
Please have Jen on next. Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's amazing. Anyway,
And
my
she's
point
fucking
is-
hot.
she's beautiful. Beautiful, sexy woman. Anyway, she's incredible. But she's like driven like a dude, you know? So I don't know the difference anymore. It's all the same.
Well, I think that the problem that people think is that for a woman to be alpha and to take up space that we feel like men usually take up, men feel like it's making me less of a man. But
Fair
in
enough.
reality,
Let's talk about that.
But in
Yeah.
reality, I think it's like being the pretty, like, it's like, look, you could be pretty, somebody prettier walks in, it doesn't make you less pretty.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing with taking up space, being, let's say, alpha,
Yeah,
having
but
these
I-
masculine qualities.
yeah.
Just because I can be successful at a CEO and love cars and love houses, things that genuinely women aren't known to like, doesn't make you any less of a man. I'm
Yeah.
not
Check this
taking
out.
away.
I think it's not something that has to do with like financially all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like
Right.
something they're lacking. That's because like you can be making more money than your man, but like you're there like you're my protector. Like you make them feel like that, and then it's all of a sudden they'll always still feel empowered.
Yeah.
The trick is you always still have to make men feel like they're making
Yes,
decisions,
correct.
even if they're not.
You said the right thing, and I was exactly gonna.
Yeah.
To your point.
They just want to feel like they're making the decision, but the woman is always behind it all.
Yeah, you know what? But my girlfriend always, even though she's in that position, in a power position like that, and she's feeling that alpha movement, she loves it when I take control. She loves it when she's like, I can be a woman with you.
Yeah.
Well, in my work, I have to be da-da-da-da. But with you, I feel like I trust your decisions. You made successful moves. She feels like, oh, I can be with this man and feel like a woman too. So for those out there, because I know there's a struggle, there's a push and pull between, men and women losing their identity in 2022, where men are becoming less alpha and more beta, and women are becoming more alpha and less, you know what I'm saying? There is still a role where it fits as well. Like I'm happy with it. I'm proud of her for doing what it is. I'm not less of a man. I'm stronger of a man because I know that I'm supporting an amazing woman.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she still gives me that feel.
Yeah.
She makes me, I know what you're saying, because it does feel nice to feel like I'm I'm, you know,
In control.
it feels good as a man, man. We just,
Yeah.
this is what we do. We're providers and protectors. You understand?
Right.
I want to protect you. It's just my need, you know, and that's a biological need. So I think we have to keep that in mind. But it doesn't mean she can't be the best businesswoman in her life and achieve all
Right.
her dreams.
Yeah. Because true masculinity comes out of other things. It's not about how nice your car is, how much money you make. That's not masculinity.
No.
Like it doesn't have anything to do with masculinity. You know?
It's attractive because it means you've put your mind to it and you've
Yeah.
achieved some things, and you can give our family a better life.
Yeah. But it's not true masculinity.
No, it's not, because push comes to shove, when you guys are married 5 years and she's annoyed at his
Yeah.
loserish ways or whatever, that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You know, it's the mannerisms. It's the way you treat me. It's how you treat me with respect, Carl.
Yeah.
It's the way, you know, there's many, how you treat your mom, how you treat your brother, how you treat business.
It's the same thing with loyalty and how like a high value man, just because he has certain things doesn't make him a high value man.
Zero.
When he's unloyal, you know, it's
When
the
he's
same
a
thing with,
douchebag.
yeah.
When he's an asshole. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Like, no, absolutely. And men will attest to that too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we gotta respect. Trust me. There's guys out there who've got more money than me that we know, that I'm, you know, and I don't respect them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking respect them one bit. There's someone who has less money than me, I respect big time. It depends on your character and so respect doesn't come from the money, for sure not. You know, it comes from your character and who you are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. You're like, well, yeah, I'm on
He's
your
like,
podcast.
I've been
so
answering all of them.
I love Veronica's the best. She's asked me 20,000 questions. By the way, you have to do a blooper. I have a question for you. Another question for you. I've got a question for you.
He's like, I'm fucking here for a reason. So, you know, what would you say is the one thing that you really value in a woman? And I know we said you don't choose favorites, but now obviously you're at a point in your life where you're in a serious relationship, and it could be something that's in the relationship you're in right now, or just something in general that really piques your interest when somebody has that. Like you need them to have this certain quality.
Okay. There's several.
Okay.
Top
One
three.
off the top
I know
of-
we spoke about having drive and passion,
Yeah.
so that's definitely
yeah,
one.
drive and passion, very, very important, actually. Extremely important, because you want to be able to do your life too, and not her constantly, you know, on each other's things. Another one would be, I love good-heartedness and thoughtfulness and care for others. You know, I really like that trait.
It's
You
the
know?
Canadian in him.
Yeah, like I don't want a bitch. You know what I mean? At the end
Yeah.
of the day, someone who's an asshole. You know, I'm not talking about just girls. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants that. You know, someone who's caring and thoughtful. Because I want you to be caring to my feelings too, to my needs. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm strong in my business, strong with my team. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we can, you know, break down sometimes, and life is tough, and we you know we have to have our moments. And you want someone who doesn't just step all over you.
Yeah.
So I think being tactful and sweet with others, not just you, it's a good sign.
Yeah. Speaking of that, in your career, has there ever been a moment where like someone kind of fucked you over and you were like, I learned my lesson?
Yeah. He was a very good friend of mine, and I've known him for 10 years. We did business together. I'm not going to name the company, but he was the director of that company. And he was getting me to perform. And he, you know, I said, okay, no problem. I'll come out and open up for Pitbull. And they'd done a deal with me. The contract was signed for me, for my share. But the Pitbull thing went really south on something. I guess there was a middleman in America, and then they owed him $500,000, whatever it was. And they paid him $400,000, but it didn't go to him. So they were like, if we're not coming to Dubai unless you pay us another $100,000 or $130,000, whatever it was. And so when I landed, he picked me up, and I don't know if there was a trick or not, or how he did it, because he Ponzi schemed me or whatever, but it was my boy. So he's like, dude, I need $100,000 US, you know, to be transferred to Pitbull, to the thing. I said, okay, can we, if you want that, I could send the money, but like, can you get a contract signed? So we had a contract signed, just to pay me back after the weekend, after they got everything, because something fucked up with his, it was the middleman that kind of screwed up and that took the money and held it in escrow. And I guess supposedly the IRS held his money, so he couldn't pay Pitbull. And Pitbull said, I wouldn't come to Dubai unless I got all the money.
Got it.
Right.
Something like that. Bottom line is, I wired them. I called my bank and I spoke to the vice president. I said, listen, I gotta send 100,000 wire, 100 US, you know, to this, da da da. They're like, Carl, you got to be at least here physically to sign. I don't know if someone's holding something against you. I'm like, do it now. It's very important. So I got to the highest level and I said, do it now because they needed it. And that's my boy. So I wired him $100,000. Never saw it ever again.
Wow.
I went to court. Nothing came out of it. I spent another 25 grand, just lawyers and fees. And to this day, I think he's probably still working in the business over there. I'd love to shout him out. I'd love that. That would be a real shout out. I wish people could cancel him, but I don't want to do that. You know, I moved on from that, and it is what it is. So yeah, there you go. That answers your question.
Okay, and now, has there ever been a celebrity you were like obsessed with growing up that you met and you were like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my life. I just met them or hooked up with them.
You know.
Drop the names.
So cool stories. By the way, many.
Did you meet
stories.
Britney Spears?
Did I meet Britney?
I don't think you would have forgot that.
I didn't. No, I'll tell you why. I didn't meet her, but she signed. I was dating her backup vocalist. For a long time. So she gave that's why I was unsure, because she signed a nice little thing, like a little card saying happy birthday, Karl. So it was really cute that I got that. Yeah. But I've met so many people. So obviously I went on tour with Akon, Sean Kingston, Lauryn Hill, Mary J. Blige, you name it. I've toured with everybody under the sun. And but I did meet Mel B from the Spice Girls in LA one time. And we kind of connected at a club. We didn't do anything, I don't think. We were just like talking and just having a good vibing. And we stayed in contact for a little bit, from what I remember. Another cool thing was Kim K. So Kim Kardashian.
Oh my God. Let's talk about Kim K.
Yeah, Kim K. So we were at Much Music Video Music Awards. It was at the height of Africa. Big record, Karl Wolf #1. I was #1 on Billboard. And so we were in my booth. And then she came in with was it who she was
Chris
dating?
Humphrey?
No, she was dating a football player at the time. Gosh, I can't remember his name. My manager would know. Anyway, so she came in. I was like, whoa, damn. You know, she was hot, like every curves. I was like, oh my God. And I'll tell you something, that wasn't plastic. Like I know some people, maybe now it is, maybe now it's, she says no, right? But like
it is.
But back then,
I know.
And she doesn't call it that because it's a BBL, and technically when you take fat and you transfer it, it's still your fat.
Because I did feel it. It was soft. Like
it's because it's still your fat, so it's a
I didn't touch. No, because she walked by. Like and it
You're
was like
what it is it's not implants. So essentially, you could say it's yours because it just moved around fat. So it's yours.
Yeah.
But it's been moved around.
But one of the weirdest story was that night. Okay, so Kim Kardashian, someone else, and it was me. They were sort of in my booth. Like my booth was here, and then there was their booth here, and I was sitting here, and Lady Gaga just came right here in front of my face. I'm like, hello? And she sat next to me. Literally next to me.
Were you freaking out?
I was freaking out.
I wouldn't even breathe.
She had her shades on. And I was like, I looked at my manager. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I'm like, what's she sitting next to me for? Literally, there's nobody next to me. Like space, sat next to me. And I looked at her like this. I'm like, hi, and then hi, you know, and then she's like, oh, hi. I'm like, how are you?
You're
nice
like, what
meet
is
you.
life?
I'm Karl. She's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. And she started talking to me, just went off. And I'm like, and then her manager, I think, wanted to stop her from talking to me or something. So we just had a fucking chat for like half an hour.
She seems like amazing.
She's amazing. She had her shades, and I don't know if she's like, oh, I love you, and I love it. I'm like, me? Like, you know my stuff?
You're like,
I was weirded out. So that was that. Another interesting meeting was Justin Bieber backstage so it was me, Akon, Pitbull at the, I think it was Summer Rush in Toronto. Backstage, young Justin Bieber, just signed with Usher, new, and then I had my broken leg at the time, and then I was performing, but backstage when I was doing sound check, he came up to me and he was like, yo, Karl, I was a kid. He was like, yo, Karl, oh my God, because he's Canadian, right?
Yeah,
so he knew Africa.
right, yeah.
He knew all the songs, right? He was like, yo, Karl, can we take pictures? Can I take more pictures? I'm like, okay, no problem. He's like, he took a selfie with his, like, it was like one of those Polaroids.
Yeah.
He's like, can I do one more? I'm like, okay. He bugged me like 4 times. Not bugged me. Justin, you never bugged me. You know? So he was asking me for pictures constantly. A cute kid. You know, I was like, man, I'm proud of you, you know, and we took a bunch of pictures. And that's it. That was the last time the next time I saw him was at the Much Music Video Awards, and then he was just like, he nodded and just walked off, you know. So it was
Wow.
never the same excitement, you know, but that was one of my cool moments with Justin Bieber, JB.
Big JB. We love the Canadian successful people.
Yeah.
I have a last question about, famous people and celebrities and stuff like that. Do you feel like being in that space, you've learned something that maybe people on the outside don't know? Whether it be about like personalities or what it takes to get there, or
Yeah.
just like how people are.
Okay.
Is there like a lesson that you
Wow.
kind of like?
Beautiful. I love this question. So everything is a fight and a struggle. Everything you do, everyone's going to kind of defy it. You have to be sort of a warrior. This industry, in this music industry, and probably in any, because I don't know anything else but my experiences. But with music industry, put it this way, nobody really knows who you are deep inside, but you do. You know the fire. You know that you can accomplish it. You could see the vision, and you have to almost just plow through constantly. You can't listen to too much of the negativity. The negative stuff is going to happen. I've had that in my career since I started. When I released Africa, even when it was a hit, people would say you're a one-hit wonder. They were never relentless on. They were relentless on me. It was always, one-hit wonder, you suck. Go back to where you came from. It was always negative. And even till this day, if I want to release something, it's like, but what has Karl done recently? Can we play it? I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? With everything, I've got 13 fucking awards. I've got 20 platinum and gold records. At what point are you gonna say, okay, no problem, let's do it? Never. It's a constant battle, and I bet you, I would argue some major artists like Drake or whatever sometimes also have, a fight against them. Maybe not at that position. I'm sure you can run the world at that point, because they're the top of the top. But other than that, being the number one top spot, you're always gonna be having, people fight against you for some shit. It's gotten less and less, but it's still there. It's still there, and it bothers me. It's like so, but it gives me the fire to prove it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that always have that fight in you, because you're gonna. I guess one thing we can come out of this is action is everything. If you do, and don't be scared. Remember, fortune favors the brave. When you're brave, you're going to do shit that you want, and you're going to sometimes lose. There's a lot of losing, right? There's some sayings out there that you're going to lose 99% of the time. But guess what? When you have that one fucking hit, Africa was huge for me. That brought millions of dollars. And it's still it's the gift that keeps on giving, It plays all over the world. Now we're releasing the remix. I'm so blessed to be able to have that. But I kind of envisioned my life performing for thousands of people. I had that vision as a kid.
Yeah.
Is it me who made that success happen, reality? Or was it that I'm really special? I doubt it's the second one. I think it's
consistency mixed with talent is a recipe for just
Success.
Yeah.
when the stars align.
Yeah.
But you got to be
But
constantly
the stars
on it.
didn't even align for you.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It could have not if I didn't continue.
yeah. And that's the thing. It's like the stars don't always align.
Yeah.
You fucking force them to align.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
think
Like, you just keep going until they do.
People will look at someone else and be like, but I'm so much, like, I know I'm so much better than, let's say, for example, this artist. Like, my music is so amazing.
There's nothing wrong to say that, by the way. That's
There's
cool.
absolutely
That's good to say
nothing
that.
wrong to
Yeah,
say that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, it's like, how consistent are you? Because at the end of the day, the people who win aren't always the most talented. It's did you pull through,
Yeah.
right? And that's what'll make people bitter a lot of the times. It's like, I know I deserve this, but what are you doing to get there?
It's the same way people look at, an artist and say, oh, yeah, I could paint that. Or, yeah, I can make this song. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I could
Even
do that.
us.
But you're not.
Yeah.
People look
all
at our
say it.
podcast.
People
and they
look
say,
at our podcast
I
and
want
like,
to.
why would you listen
them.
to these sugar baby
Yeah,
girls
yeah.
who don't know anything?
I'm
But people
sure.
all think, a
and
lot
I'm
of
like,
people.
bro, do you know how much work we put
That's
into
it.
this?
That's it.
But everyone thinks that
But I
they
know.
could do it. Yeah, but
People who work and who do this kind of life understand what it takes. That's why I
Yeah.
give you guys respect for doing what you do. And Drake, anybody who's made, I always use Drake as an example because he's really a freaking genius and pioneer in his right. Like he's started from the
From the
bottom,
grassy
from the grassy,
to
exactly.
crazy.
And obviously some people say, he was always well off or whatever. Good for you. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He took, let's say what his family had maybe $500,000, to their name. Now he's almost a billionaire.
Yeah.
Okay. Or he is. Come on. So you guys are doing great. I say keep it up and keep killing it. And by the way, one more thing. I'll leave you guys with one more
Yes.
thing. This is something I always use for me, and I try to give some advice on this, because I've reached that point sometimes, and I knew what it felt like. It's like, think about like a wall right here, right? Or
A wall with a frame, or just
A wall with a frame that
that keeps on hitting my arm. So, because everything is like everyone's got their dream, and they're where they think that they want to be. So it's always sort of, think about it as a ceiling if you want, or a wall.
Right.
Let's say there's a wall, and you want to go past that wall, right? Some people think. The problem is some people don't even realize how far off from success they are, how close they are. And that's kind of how it was even for me. I didn't think, I was a guy coming from the Middle East. Nobody gives a fuck about me. Literally, nobody cared about Karl Wolf. I created this, my real name is not Karl Wolf. It's Karl, but it's not Wolf. I changed the name. I changed it. It's a C, but I put a K. And people were laughing at me. My friends were laughing at me. Like, it was a whole thing that I conjured up in my head because I had a feeling and I had a vision one day. But there were many obstacles. But I'm the type of guy who's always like, okay, I know I can do it. I know this because I've seen it before. I've seen success before. I know what it feels like. It's great. But it happens when you not least expected, but when it's not always how you plan it. You understand? So like you said, with flexibility. But sometimes you're digging. You're mining away. Chipping away. Success is here. You're chipping away. You can't see it. There's a blocked wall. You're just chipping away. Some people get tired and they say, fuck it, I'm going. You understand? And you never know that the gold was right fucking there.
You just have to push
I'm the proof that I keep fucking going. That's it. I'm not even talented that much. I mean, I'm okay. But like, okay, I'm
humble.
I'm good. But my point is, fucking just keep pounding at your love. Keep pounding at the thing you want. You're inevitably going to get there, because why? We're only human beings. That means everybody in a position of control or a position of power is a person that can get inspired by you. You got to remember that. It's not just an industry. It's a human that's saying, and there's human beings that's saying, oh my God, did you hear about Karl? Did you hear about the Chemical X podcast? Did you hear about, they're human. They gossip, they talk, they look, they see, they compete, they do all these things. It's not an inanimate object. Keep that in mind. So
never stop. And that's the thing. People stop. They stop when they're right there. But the reality is, no matter like how long it takes, because everybody's wall is a little thicker than others, not every wall is the same thickness. But if you don't ever stop, at some point you will get past it. It might happen earlier, it might happen later, but you just have to never give up. And that's what I truly
everything
believe.
happens for a reason.
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens. That's where, okay, I worked years and years, 10 years, whatever. And then Africa hit. And it was like number one everywhere. I was like, what the hell? Because before that, people think it was just my single. That it wasn't. I've had other singles. I was trying. Number 40, number 42, number 30, number 39. Okay, Karl Wolf is never going to make it. Karl Wolf sucks. I heard everything under the sun.
Yeah.
You never, he's not a star. He's not I had all the things from managers, from real people, who today I see them at the Junos and they look at me and they're like, Karl, man, you killed it. You did it. I'm like, that's what it takes, man. It just takes to say, fuck you, I'm doing this. Because the respect will come from that. You understand? And the more and not only that, respect, and you'll have that cachet. You have all this experience. So now people are listening to you as an expert,
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Who was your motivation growing up?
Wow. Well, I loved Michael Jackson. That was my inspiration. As an artist, Michael Jackson was amazing. He would be in control of his music videos. He was a dreamer. He was, so I loved him from that side. Obviously Quincy Jones, I met with him. Amazing. So we have a friend in common. So we met in Dubai. We had an amazing dinner with him, Saida Garrett, who wrote Man in the Mirror for Michael Jackson.
Wow.
I'm stopping with the man. Amazing. And Bruce Swedien. Bruce Swedien was the guy who mixed Billie Jean for Michael Jackson. Billie Jean, come on, you guys.
Yes.
So he passed away now. But we had dinner with one of my boys and Will.i.am too. So all these people are huge inspirations for me because they advised me on something really cool shit. Bruce Swedien told me how to mix songs. Like he told me, just think of broadcast. Don't think of playing a song to your friends. Think of how it's going to sound when it's on a small speaker. Think of how it sounds on a radio. How it comes across, So that's it.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that you never know where life will take you. Like I never
That's
8
crazy.
years ago would have
Would've
known that I
thought.
would have a podcast, that I would be having you as a guest on my podcast. So if that's any,
Sign.
reason to just always be open to new opportunities, always be open and never
And be nice to
be
everyone.
nice. Yeah,
Yes,
like
yes.
be open. Like I'm
Yes.
an open person. I'm willing to talk to anybody. I'm friendly
Yeah.
with everyone.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you're also friendly. And
Yeah.
look where we are now. Now you're
incredible.
you blessed us with your presence on
Are
our
you kidding me?
podcast.
I'm so
and-
proud to be here. I'm so
Well,
proud
No,
of you
we're
guys.
so happy to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Honestly.
it's just like, guys, you never know who's around you. You never know where you'll ever end up in life.
Yeah.
And it might not be where you think you're going to end up. So just live your life with
Keep
grace.
hitting that wall.
Yeah,
Keep hitting that wall.
Seriously.
Live your life with grace and love
Yeah.
and an open mind and flexibility.
Yeah.
And you can all be Karl Wolf one day.
Aw.
Especially coming from, Canada. Obviously, you're not originally from Canada,
Yeah.
but I love seeing people from Canada succeed.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I guess it's just for me too. I see like I could
It's possible.
be there. It's
That's-
possible,
yeah.
Because we feel like we're a little bit far.
We could touch. We could like.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like the Weekend and those guys, right? So I was signed with that management team, right? So it's amazing to see them do so well. Like big real shout out to Sal, because that guy, genius. Like what he's done, he's the manager for the Weekend, and he's like everything that I've seen him do is just awe-inspiring. He's Lebanese as well. He's like me. So I feel like, and I was signed with them for 6 months, and it was such a good vibe, to see them kill it. Like I was just at the Weekend concert in the box, of course, but it was incredible. I sell out 70,000 or 50,000 seats twice. It's just amazing. And we were there in the same rooms. So look what's possible. It's really inspiring.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything
But
is
I'm so proud of you. I really think you guys are going to do so well. Keep going. I love this decor. Like
Thank
you
you.
guys together are really special. So I'm a
Thank
big fan.
you.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
guys, if you're listening or if you're watching, Karl Wolf is going on tour. You said November, December,
Yeah.
all over Canada. So
Go check out karlwolf.com. That's where you can get tickets. And
DIY.
DIY, baby. It's a DIY tour. Do it yourself. I'm very excited about the tour. Haven't been performing in 2 years from the pandemic.
You're coming to
whatever.
Montreal too.
Coming to Montreal.
We're gonna come.
You guys have to come.
We're
Are you kidding
absolutely
me?
coming.
No, it's going to be already. The Toronto one is like the early bird tickets are sold out. I don't want to say sold out because then people don't go out.
Yeah.
The early bird tickets are sold out. We still have some VIP stuff coming up, but it's just doing so well. I'm so happy.
Is your girl gonna be in town when
course,
you're
she's
there?
gonna be- I think she's gonna
beautiful.
come with
She's
me.
coming on the podcast.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Perfect.
okay, well, we're
Thank
so
you
excited.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Thank you.
coming on. And
Yalla habibi, yeah. Yeah, amazing, amazing.